Welcome everybody to the first money match that I think I have ever witnessed in the Hearthstone world. I'm pretty sure there's been plenty of spectacles with money matches like in the beginning of a Hearthstone's creation, but this is the first time in a minute that I have seen any kind of action taken. So no hands. I think we're both pretty excited, but how about you tell me how excited you are?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a great match. We've got Furyhunter, who's just completely dominating the competitive scene right now. #1 legend on EU with Garrote Rogue, #1 legend on NA right now. Just doing really well. And you got Jay Alexander, the Rogue Master, more Rogue games than any other player in the world. And so who's also ranked 3 legend right now. So it's neck and neck. It's super close. Should be a very good match.
Yeah, well, we're going to let the players get ready here in a second. There's really not much conversation to be had about like lineups or anything. They're both playing the exact same 30-card list. This is a list that Jay Alexander has actually been practicing since the mini set dropped, I believe. I don't think he's really made much changes to this particular list. But you can have the actual list present if you press, if you type in ! deck, it will take you to the tweet to where you can see all the cards in the list, as well as the deck code if you want to play the deck yourself. But yeah, we're going to get the players into a test match to make sure everything is performing as it's supposed to. And yeah, like this is my very first time doing something like this, so if there's any technical difficulties, I do apologize. But doing all of this by yourself, it did take a little bit, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of behind the scenes, Clark, editing and stuff like that. But regardless, thank you to everybody for being here. No Hands Gamer, how about you walk us through a little bit, for those who may not know, about some of the differences that have happened to Garrote Rogue since the mini set has dropped.
Yeah, so the big difference right now is the Blackwater Cutlass. Everything else is still, because they're different versions out there, but the Blackwater...
I tried, like, I think my biggest weakness is trying to go for like the combo way too soon, because you do have to kill your opponent by like turn 7, turn 8. But I'm always trying to do it like almost like on turn 6, but I often run out of gas.
Yeah. It's very hard to get on turn 6 unless you stick a field contact. In general, turn 7 is the most standard, and turn 8 is, with time to spare. But yeah, it's a thing of, there's definitely a range. I think the fastest I've heard, Casey, who is one of the pioneers of this deck, said he was able to get one on turn 5 one time, which is pretty incredible. So, but for the most part, especially I think if you're starting with this deck, if you just get it down on turn 8 or 9, and then just get better and better at getting faster, getting your Garrote plays more clean, getting things more efficient, getting all these little tactical things down that you need to get down with the deck to just get things down quicker. So
yeah, and like something else that I feel like a lot of people struggle is how the mulligan can often change depending on the situations that you're shown. Like, sometimes you need those Auk Merchants to deal with early game minions. Other time you just go full in for the combo. But one thing I feel like a lot of people underestimate is just the tempo that can be, pushed by this deck sometimes. Like, there's not really that many like slow styles, but in this meta, it feels like if you have control of the board, especially if you're even like flooding the board with like 2-1s and stuff like that, that's still extremely good because there's not a lot of decks that are actively running removal, like AoEs and whatnot.
Yeah, and I think that's like, if you remember, what this deck was before was the Auctioneer version. That's kind of the original Garrote Rogue, and in a way, it still got the OTK at the same time, but didn't do anything for the first 5 turns. The difference between this deck is this deck's fighting for board, you're fighting stuff, you're just trying to stay alive half the time, and then all of a sudden, oh, they kill you. So it's like this thing of, not only is it's so hard to keep up with this deck with just board tempo, but then you finally start to come back, and they're like, oh, nope, 30 damage to face, So I think that's why this deck is so strong, is it's not just an OTK deck, it's a tempo deck. It can be a value deck with the right randomly generated cards. It can do has a lot of different ways to win. So yeah.
Yeah, so it looks like Furyhunter does have the Octo Procto first, but Jay Alexander does have a lot of the 1-drops in hand, and is going to probably be able to get some value if he can actually get his field contact in hand. And on the other side, Furyhunter does have that field contact, so in terms of getting the machine run in, it looks like Furyhunter's gonna, you know, be leagues ahead until Jay Alex gets that key card draw.
Yeah, the one player draws field contact and the other player doesn't. It's really tough. And Furyhunter is interesting. This is always the art. I'm curious to see with this of like, when do you go passage, when do you do the field contact. But the idea of you go passage here is you can dump a bunch of cards. So when you do a passage play, he's effectively drawing these cards. So he plays 3 cards here. He's likely to play the Og Merchant and the Brain Freeze, I'm guessing, to cycle these cards. So he effectively draws the 2 from the Swindle, which is 2 cards, and he draws 3 more. So basically, he's drawn for 0 mana, 5 cards there, or 3 cards and then 2 from the Swindle. So yeah,
from the passage, and now got these additional 2. So now, if our math is correct, he should be sitting at 7. Okay, he's actually sitting at 8. So I think he might have put in 6 into the deck. Oh my! Like trying to comment exactly what's going on with this deck sometimes just is a nightmare, especially when you're focusing on 2 perspectives. Like I've actually never casted a Garrote mirror before, so this is kind of like a different experience. But oh man, that field contact is actually going to stick in the hand now.
Oh wow!
So now both players have access to the nutty turns.
He's got the interesting dilemma of, you know, you play the Octobot here, but what's sad about it is, one, if he plays it on board, it's very unlikely to get the discount. So, but if he plays it here, well, he only gets realistically one mana discount on this field contact. Not very good, but Jay Alexander understands the importance of tempo, and he can't wait for the perfect situation. So he's going ahead and getting that discount of the field contact. That's just one additional draw, one additional tempo play, and so I think there's actually an advantage to going second, because then you can use your tempo stuff to remove. So, but here, Furyhunter's popping off, and you can see he's not killing off this 2/1. It's often better to intentionally leave their opponent's minions up, so that you can get more procs. So and you can really, this is looks like you can do what I call like the penflinger dance, where you just keep on penflinging. But his hand is actually so full that he can't do it, and looks like he's gonna just go for the immediate Octo discount here.
And now all the 1-drops become 0s again. Like, this is something that, like, okay, I'm not saying that I'm good with this deck. In trying to practice for this deck, I literally went 0% win rate in all my games today. I think I played 6 games, and it's just like, this is just still one of those decks that kind of eludes me. But while I was playing it, like, using Octobot in order to discount the cards that you just have drawn is another way that you can really milk the value out of the field contact. But there are other situations when you are doing that, sometimes you just don't have enough time. So it's like that one big push out of the field contact is good if you know the fast order of how to play the cards. But another way that you can keep the field contact still valuable without having to shadow step it is doing exactly what Furyhunter has right here with the Divine Shield. Does it make a difference in the Rogue matchup? Probably not, but it does force those answers, which can be important sometimes.
Furyhunter actually has a little bit of an awkward hand, where he's got all these weird, awkward cards that he doesn't really want to use here. He kind of, I'm not sure if I always sometimes like the discounting there, because it looks good, like, oh, I'll get another discount, but, you know, he discounted a Prep and a Blackwater Cutlass and some stuff that, you know, he does have the 0 mana Garrote here, which is really nice, because now you can go Guild Trader, Prep, Garrote, and get the clear without any more discounts. So he really just now has to draw through his whole deck. I don't think without the field contact he can get a lethal this turn, though. It's kind of, I was surprised. I thought he was going to do a Shadow Step on the field contact there, because you can see now, even though Jay Alexander's second, Jay Alexander's all like in a very good position here to potentially get lethal next turn, and Furyhunter really isn't. He just doesn't have the draw here, so he's gonna have to probably do some maybe trading with Blackwater Cutlass, or so he's gonna do the Shroud first here, and he's hoping to get field contact. But but he low rolled here, and this is huge. He looks like he's probably gonna trade it and try and look for the field contact. But yeah, so you can see this was the problem. He's trading again. He has to hit it, and he got really unlucky here. And this looks like a J. Alexander game, and this is kind of these turns get really awkward sometimes on what you do, and this is so you know. It's I might have shadow set the field contact, but these plays get so complicated and there's so many ways. So now what Furyhunter basically has to do is he has to hope that J. Alexander doesn't hit the lethal here. And it's quite likely. In the previous versions, he would easily try and play some Colt Neophytes. Like often you'll play like a Colt Neophyte on this turn, and that will make it so it's hard for them to get lethal, and then you can get your own lethal. But the lists aren't running that card right now, so he's really just got to pray here. It's not a good spot to be in, for sure.
It just seems like J. Alex was just kind of ahead, was just ahead in this game because he was first, and Furyhunter kind of had to make up the difference, but I don't know if he's going to be able to have the time in order to, you know, survive this next turn. Because, I mean, J. Alex does have the field contact. He has the discounted Garrotes. I've kind of got deck tracker, so I'm cheating a little bit. But looking at his deck, he's got Pinflinger, Og Merchants, Blackwater Cutlass, a Prep, and a Secret Passage left. And even if you top deck the Prep, you still have the Guild Trader going into the deck. So I think that J. Alex is probably going to get it on this turn.
Yep, I think he has another Octobot in deck, right? Oh wait, he's just okay. He's doing interesting order. So, this is I don't know if this is I think he's so J. Alexander. This is a play I don't do as often, but I think he's basically going for it. But if a bleed is his last card, it might not work. But I think he gets a few draws with this, and
Furyhunter praying, hoping
yeah.
he doesn't have it. But I mean,
yeah.
I think that's just gonna be the first match here. This just kind of felt like, you know, the first player who went first just kind of just, you know, got it. But I mean, wait, hold on, is this not enough?
Oh, he's got the prep. He got the prep. Wow. Great lethal. This is a lethal that I wouldn't go for. This is not in my toolbox. J. Alexander saying, with this first game, this is why I am the best rogue player in the world. You know, Furyhunter had the hand, he had everything going for him, and wasn't able to get the lethal on turn 7, and then Furyhunter did. You know, it's a very cruel deck. Every mistake is punished, and I think, I'm not exactly sure on the line, but I think something with not having the field contact, I think Furyhunter could have waited on that Octobot discount, could have shadow stepped the field contact. I think there might have been a way for him to get a guaranteed lethal as opposed to his line. I think his line was incorrect there. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to try to focus more on some of these micro plays, especially after that first game, now that I've gotten used to kind of the environment that I have put myself into here. But now that we have, you know, see J. Alexander show us what can happen when you don't have the coin, let's kind of see it flipped around to where if he could still pull it around and get a 2-0 lead with the coin. But both players, okay, hold on. J. Alex does have the contact and the Octobot, while on the flip side, Furyhunter does have double Swindle to kind of help him, you know, draw some of his cards. But off coin and without Cutlass, kind of feels bad to have those specific cards. Like, what would you say are, like, the most important cards outside of Field Contact Octobot, of course, to have specifically in the mirror?
Shroud. You really, like, want to... And you'd rather have Shroud early than Swindle. Swindle is the kind of the second, but Swindle's a lot better with Field Contact. It costs less mana. So when these early turns, you'd really like to just go... The ideal start is probably Shroud into Octobot discount Field Contacts. Passage can be really good too, because like I said, Passage, you can, you know, play a Passage, and this is what J. Alexander is going for here. He's just looking to take bad cards out of his deck and put good cards into his deck.
Speaking of the good cards, there's that Shroud you're talking about, and pairing that with Prep just makes it, you know, really easy to throw out the rest of these cards, so you're fully utilizing the Secret Passage.
And not only gets the Penflinger out of his deck here with this play, but he also gets it back in his hand. So this is such a strong turn for J. Alexander. I'd say massively ahead right now. So
yeah, he's got a full hand, has the Octo Procto ready.
This is the dream.
Struggling.
So
ooh, Mana Biscuit. Okay, that can help with some potential mana reductions and massive swing turns if you're able to actually, get the key cards here. So there's, also a consideration for Shooting Star just for removal, but at the same time, like, I kind of feel like that's just planning for disaster. But
Shooting
you
Star,
need something though.
Often it's you use it to proc. You can use it to like proc your Octobot.
Okay, that's fair.
There are, and if it gets the discount, so it's a lot more. And if you can use it to combo with Penflingers. And if they have a bunch of 2/1s, sometimes you do just need to delay. You can use it, but this is not looking good for Furyhunter. And he's shadow stepping the One Thief. He knows he needs card draw. He can sense Jay Alexander is about to destroy him. He needs a miracle here. I don't know what he's going for. It's looked like he's going for some sort of ridiculous secret. If he got the banana one, sometimes he can high roll, turning that Garrote into a banana there, and I think he's going for that there. He also hit the dirty tricks here, but now he's got to dump a card so that he doesn't overdraw his hand. But this is going to be very painful if you're a Furyhunter fan. Jay Alexander about to go annihilate Furyhunter here.
All right, so I wanna point out something. At the Masters Tour, the one that Furyhunter won, I forget the name of it already, but Furyhunter had a problem, and I mean like an obsessive problem with reverse sweeping people. So I am not counting Furyhunter out until the fat lady has sung, all the games have been played, and I've also got $20 on him right now. So I'm hoping that Furyhunter can pull this around. But Jay Alexander has the absolute, just god tier nuts right now. Even though, he is triggering the dirty secrets, he is giving Furyhunter a full hand. But just look at the mana discounts and just the differences in the amount of cards that are being played. Like, Furyhunter just now got his Octobot, but is still a field contact short from really being able to milk his deck. And, I mean, he hasn't even gotten a Shroud. Like, you got both Swindles. Kind of like what you're talking about, how, like, sometimes Swindle is a good card, but not in the early stages of the game where you really need those important minion draws.
Yeah, you see, Jay's at a point where he's gotten everything. So even if he overdraws, he has all the tools he needs to get a lethal here. Though he is, but though he did a little bit of slight mess up there at the end. But all he really needs, I'm a little surprised he traded that Gildas, but he's all set to maybe get a lethal on turn 6, but he's easily getting a lethal on turn 7. I just don't think Furyhunter is going to be fast enough. Furyhunter basically is the hope he doesn't get the lethal next turn. He did hit the thing. So Furyhunter, realistically, I expect him to go for a Penflinger Shadow Step play. This is where you play this, you get the discount, and then you Shadow Step the Octobot, and he's going to go for the full lethal next turn. And these get really complicated because he's going to probably have to go double field contact because he's not going to make it to turn 8.
Oh my God. We so never full Northshire, no hands,
no.
No.
It's sometimes you do. And look, this is actually really clean. Furyhunter's got himself to 20. Oh wait, never mind. I forgot this is the Blackwater Cutlass. So 24 life. Jay, I think though he's used both his Aug Merchants, but
yes, both of his Fury Aug Merchants have been used.
Yeah, so the proc isn't as important, but Jay doesn't actually need all the damage now, so he could use a Garrote to like intermittently with his Guild Traders. But it looks like
can't combo in turn 6. There's no way.
Jay does not have the lethal here, so
yeah.
But he's all set up. So Furyhunter has to do the play of the century here. He has to be a complete god gamer to pull this off. 13 cards. I've seen players do it. Drevio did it to me. I thought I had the game won. So I'm really excited. Let's go. Let's see.
All right.
Let's see what Furyhunter's got. Let's see if he's
immediately pops it off. Let's go, man. He wants this $200.
Yeah,
kind of like what you were saying though, like with the with returning the Octobot to the hand, having a 0 mana, 1 mana combo to discount your entire hand by 1 is exactly what you need in order to have these massive miracle turns. So yeah, Jay throwing up his hands, he understands. He knows exactly what's going on here.
Yep, and what's interesting is because he has the spell damage. Furyhunter's really showing the timing of where you don't actually want to play both field contacts immediately. Sometimes you play it towards the end, but he's actually right there.
I mean, it is going to be 0 mana.
Yeah, and he's got a 0 mana. I think he's got it. I think he's done it. He might have some hand space issues, but wow, he's done it.
Come on, Furyhunter, I've got $20 on this.
Wow, he's got this. I can see it. The only thing he could get screwed about is animation times.
But look at it. Look at his cam though. I don't know if he's got it. Like he's.
Wait. Doesn't he just go? Oh no. Oh, he doesn't have it. So close here.
Yeah. I'm judging off his facial reactions. I don't think. Yeah, he did bop off the combo in time.
I thought he had it. I think so. Here's what he had to do. He had to get this field contact down for 0, make the board space, and he had to play the Guild Trader. So he didn't quite pull this off, and this is going to be a Jay Alexander game, I think. He was just a little bit too slow, and I think that if he had done that correctly, he needed to play the field contact sooner, kill some of the stuff to get more draw, because he has a 0 mana field contact here. I think he could have done it, but now Jay Alexander has a very easy standard lethal. This was almost a Furyhunter win. I think Furyhunter was about 4.9 head there, and if he just had another 0.1 head there, that would have been such a great lethal there, but couldn't quite pull it off.
Yeah, kind of like what you're talking about. I think the biggest thing there was the board management and just making sure that you wouldn't exactly run out of space, because like he ran out of space both in hand and on the field, mostly because of that evocation. I think that was kind of irrelevant actually. Now that I'm saying it out loud.
I'm not sure why he went. I think he was just panicking and not finding the line, and he went for. But I think the thing he had to do was get that second field contact down a little bit faster. So.
Yeah, so it looks like Jay Alexander again getting the field contact as early as possible with the Octobot. But Furyhunter does have his version of, what we have been seeing here, where he's not hitting the most important draws. But Jay Alexander's second game on the coin now is leading 2-0. Let me go ahead and update this real quick. Boom. But yeah, this is an unfortunate start for Furyhunter. But like I said, he's got a thing for reverse sweeping here. Really considering his options about going for the turn 2 Octobot, which is always a play I'm absolutely terrified of on ladder. The biggest thing here is that he is getting the 1 mana cards reduced back to 0, but he doesn't have just that much gas on the other side. Having Garrote this early is really not what you want to see. And Jay Alex pretty much having all of the discounts and potential card draw you could ask for. This is looking like another really good game for Jay Alex.
Yep. I think the turn 2 Octobot is in the old Miracle Rogue. You pretty much always wanted to go the turn 2 Octobot, and now it's a little bit different where it's not as advantage. You might want to wait and get more value out of your Octobot. So. It's a thing of it's a lot less certain, but I think he wants to get that 0 mana passage there, so that he can draw more cards off his passage. But
yeah, something that it really took other competitive players to really explain how to use well was the secret passage usage. Like this is a card that I feel like you really have to understand how you're supposed to play it in order to properly win games as Garrote Rogue. And I feel like that might be a reason why I kind of struggle with this deck, is because a lot of the time I'm just hardcore, you play it in order to get cards out of your deck and then make your current hand a little bit more strong by, cycling through and finding other potential 1-drops to combo with field contact. But there's a lot of other ways of using it with
you can drop it with 1 mana, you can drop it with 0 mana just to try and hit a prep or a shadow step. You can use it with a very low hand with field contact, so you can use field contact and then draw 4 cards. That effectively draws you 8 cards. You can get the 4 from the field contact and 4 out of your deck. So there's a lot of really cool plays you can do with passage. It's one of the highest skill testing cards of the deck, in my opinion, of knowing when to passage, what are the best passages. But yeah,
so we're kind of seeing a bit of a slower match here from what I think we have seen. At least on one side, Jay Alex doesn't really have the most insane draws at the moment in order to make the field contact really sing. So just going for the draws off of the tradable Guild Trader as well as the Shroud, definitely a good way to start getting that gas going. Also has a coin.
I think it's more he doesn't want to just full pop off here. It's a little too early. And he has a nice play that he wants to do eventually, so he'd rather get more out of his field contact when he finally does it, because he can really pop off, especially with this 0 mana Octobot ready to go. So There's also an advantage to going second on the field contact because then you can use your field contact stuff to remove their stuff. So sometimes it can be nice, but Furyhunter, hit his draw here. So I'd say he's one Octobot away from being right back in this game. And it's weird because Furyhunter's has a 9-card advantage here, but he doesn't have the mana discounts. He doesn't have the 0 mana Octobot. So right now he's passaging, and this is where he's looking for a Shadow Step. And if he doesn't hit a Shadow Step, it's going to be bad. He hit a prep here.
Other field contact,
so what did he hit?
Merchants.
And this is very unlucky. He completely bricked here. He really needed to hit that Shadow Step there. And when he doesn't, it's going to be very tough for him because the problem is Jay Alexander's going to remove. And then what does Furyhunter do? He doesn't have anything here. He has a bunch of trash that is kind of useless. So if Jay Alexander gets a good turn, gets a Shadow Step on his field contact, or draws another field contact, Jay Alexander's in a really good position to win this game.
Yeah, casting this deck is kind of like difficult because of how quickly you just cycle through everything. So it's hard to really focus on some of the micro plays that are being made here. But a common theme that you are seeing is just the sheer speed and consistency of play from these players. Like, they are really experienced with the nuances of this deck, and this is why it's hard for newer players to pick it up.
That we saw later. I just talked about earlier, where he's passaging with the field contact on board, and this gets you a lot of draw because you get the draw from the field contact and the other. So this is another just a common play that I think a lot of players are uncomfortable with, but he just sort of saw like this is the line here. And he's actually discounting his hand, but it's kind of awkward because he didn't hit what he wanted to hit.
Ooh, but Shadow Step.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I think he has another field contact in his hand, so he probably Shadow Steps the Octobot. If he were really quick here,
though, right?
Yeah. I wonder if he's gonna prep. Okay, he's just prepping. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, like at first with the double Garrote coming off of the Secret Passage, I was kind of doubting if he was going to be able to really, milk the value out of this Secret Passage field contact turn. But yeah, right back at 7 cards, has the other Octobot ready with the other field contact in play, which is why he wanted to Shadow Step that Octobot versus Shadow Stepping the field contact. You get way more discounts. And Furyhunter on the other side, looking like he's kind of struggling. Like, again, he doesn't have a lot of the gas that he needs in order to do exactly what Jay Alexander is doing. Keep in mind, guys, like, they're playing the exact same 30. They are playing the exact same 30. So at the end of the day, if Furyhunter does lose this, he always can just blame RNG. So, there's always that default.
Well, players find a way, right? So, there's always a way to blame RNG, but it's, I know what you're saying for sure.
Octobot with 2 mana with no Procto on this turn, no field contact in hand.
This is real awkward where he'd love to just discount this hand, but he doesn't quite have the mana here. So it looks like, so often in these kind of spots, you want to discount the hand just to set up for a field contact top deck. Though what I expect to see Furyhunter do next turn is something like where he efficient Octobots and Penflingers, discounts his hand, and then Shadow Steps and gets the discounts again. He should be able to get everything really cheap, and if he gets the field contact number 2 off the top, but...
Yeah, but Jay Alex has like all of this value now, and just... Okay, so is this one of those situations where we might see a turn 6 lethal, or is board space going to be an issue? Because I feel like there's no way to set up the board to... like, maybe the mana discounts can be possible here, but I think
it's hard because Jay Alexander doesn't have a big enough of a hand here. So the problem is he can get the discounts, but he has to use multiple cards to get the discount. So he's only cycling 1 for 1. So it's a thing of he's not going to quite get it here. It doesn't look like, and I don't think I don't think it's possible in this spot. So Furyhunter should be going for the lethal next turn. With the Shadow Step on the efficient Octobot, and even he can get the Primordial Studies in this too. He should be able to get everything incredibly cheap. So he really just has to be able to hit the right cards from his Shroud. If he gets really low rolls his Shroud, things could go poorly for him. But we'll see if that happens. We'll see how clean Furyhunter has this play down here. But I think if Furyhunter performs this right, he should be winning here almost all the time. I don't have the deck tracker. I can't see exactly how many cards Furyhunter has, or which cards. So, but yeah,
He's got 5 cards left in deck. I don't know what cards are specifically left in deck, but I think there actually might be a way for him to turn this around.
He hit the field
now,
contact.
Field contact.
And then he does it again. And he does it with the Augmenter this time. And he actually doesn't even need... I think technically you should go Primordial Studies here, but he doesn't need it. He only needs to draw 3 cards here, right? Oh, wait. Oh, no! He's 1 mana off. Oh, my God. He's 1 mana off.
He doesn't have a prep left in deck, so...
And you know what?
Wait,
He's...
hold on.
Yeah. Oh. And if he had gone to Primordial Studies there, oh, he had it. Oh, this is a throw. Could have hit it. He could have hit it.
Wait, okay, so I'm kind of lost in like all of the action that was going on this turn. How exactly did he have lethal set up here?
So he needs to draw 3 cards, effectively, or 4 cards, and he didn't hit it fast enough. And I think he actually had to go discount and then do the shroud and then do the discount. I think it might have been more efficient. I'm not 100% sure on that, but yeah, he's just 1 mana off. And if he had gone in the Blood Mage Downloads down here. What he could have done was gotten the Blood Mage Downloads down to 0 and then Penflinger the Blood Mage Downloads. So I believe he missed the lethal there with some best practices. And I don't know if I think there's a very good chance that J. Alexander has it here. Let me see, how many cards does J. Alexander have?
He's got 5 cards left in deck.
So
but Refreshing Spring Water. I mean, that can hit Garrote, Swindle. It's a weapon, and okay, so you at least get 2 mana back for spending 3, so not that bad. You don't have, I don't think you have the, you definitely don't have the mana to do it this turn, right?
I don't think he has it, so.
No.
I don't think he has it. Just too many cards, just not going to work. I don't think that, I'm not sure. J. Alexander's looking for an out for a lucky lethal, basically, where he doesn't go through his whole deck here. That's what he did in game number 2. But I don't think he's gonna find it. So
I mean, there are 12 damage I'm sorry. Yeah, 12 damage off these Garrotes if he does get lucky enough to get all of them. So he's
going for it.
There's one.
And he hits 1.
He still has other tradable cards in the deck, so we could always trade again.
Nope. He's looking to draw 2.
Not enough. Okay, so would it have been better to have played? No, playing Swindle really wouldn't have made that much of a difference. I was thinking.
He always draws a spell, but I think he was wanting to draw twice, and
yeah.
Furyhunter never punished. I think if we had time, we could go review that hand. I think there might have been a guaranteed lethal. There might have been at least ways for him to increase his odds. I think definitely playing the Primordial Studies first, hitting that Blood Mage Downloads, being able to proc of the Blood Mage Downloads, stuff like that was very important, and he missed out on that opportunity. So I think there was a way. But he didn't quite get it, but, never punished. He's going to get it now. This is going to be Furyhunter win. And this would have been very bad for Furyhunter if J. Alexander had pulled this game off, because 3-0 advantage would have been very difficult to come back from. But now it is 2-1, so it's back to anybody's game here. So, and you can see Furyhunter, even though he's winning, he just doesn't feel good about it, because he knows
he doesn't feel accomplished.
So, yeah.
Oh my God. Like... This is just the power of this deck. Like, we kind of saw, tempo become very, very important in this game. Like, the field contact turns were, of course, important. But overall, like, what won this game was being on the board and then just being able to, force your opponent to essentially have what they need. And as of right now, Furyhunter just needed to get himself a win. And just... Yeah. He needs to get a combo. He needs to give himself a combo.
And you can see here, your Furyhunter's literally rank 1 legend with this. You can see how hard this deck is. Everybody's messing up on it. And the reality is you can mess up this deck a ton and still do really well with it. But yeah. So we got a very good mulligan for... it looks like both players, J. Alexander having the field contact in his opening hand, and we have Furyhunter having both shrouds. And just being able to go coin Shroud in the Shroud, it's actually one of the best starts. So Furyhunter with an insane hand, but we've seen multiple times players, with an insane hand not being able to pull it off. So it's, at the end of the day, it's all about, it's like the last turn, who can just get it down just in time.
Yeah, I just gotta say one quick thing about Furyhunter. Like, Furyhunter is a great Hearthstone player. He just needs to work on matchup awareness, counting, basic maths, trading, awareness to go face, macro game plan, micro game plan, deck building, tech choices, preparation, mulligan, spotting lethal, hand positioning, hand reading, hand judgment, some hand management, emote meta reads, and controlling the board. You know,
Yeah, I think it's very well known that those are some of Furyhunter's weaknesses, but you know, he's able to make it work even despite those. So that's what we love about him, you know. So
that's something you gotta love about Hearthstone. You know, it's easy to pick up, but it's hard to master.
do you have a bit above like what's the idioms or what's the term I'm looking for? Of the day where
Yeah, imagine showing your best friend Garrote Rogue and be like, oh yeah, this game is easy to learn. This game is easy to learn.
yeah, just spend your mana, go face, right? But with Garrotes, you know, I don't know what's so hard.
Dude, just Octo Procto. It's not that hard.
So yeah, so here Furyhunter's doing a very standard play. You take the Octobot and you Shadow Step it, and then you get it again. And I'm surprised. I often would have gone Passage there, which I'm curious to drop one card because you actually sometimes want to make room in your hand. So, but you know, every player has little different nuances. But
something else you could have done was trade the Guild Trader, but I think you want the mana discount on that. But you could have traded it after.
Yeah, I think
that.
That's also a potentially good play. But it is interesting. It's often right to get the discount on the Guild Trader and then trade it off. So
is it? Yeah, if you're going for a mana discount next turn with the Octobot, and then yeah, you just want the Guild Trader to be 2 because the best part about it is tradable cards keep their mana reduction. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you can see though, even though J. Alexander is actually doing really good here, where he has a full hand, he's got an Octobot ready to go, and he's got a 6-card advantage. So it's really weird where sometimes one player looks like they're really ahead, in that, you know, Furyhunter's got a giant hand full of discounted cards, but yeah.
I gotta say, this is a lot of Aug Merchants that I'm seeing going on other minions. It's been a minute since I've seen you know, such like usually in the rogue matchup, you do have to use your Aug Merchants on like minions and stuff like that, but a lot of these swings, like especially with like spell damage, I always hoard in order to you know, put it on my own minions because I'm so fixated on combos, being, you know, a combo player and meme player time and time again. But just this is something I really love about being able to learn from these two great players, because I hyper fixate with this deck. And this deck, you have to sometimes make difficult choices by going for tempo, trying to like find your own lethals later on, especially with like the spell damage you can generate from the Guild Trader. And it's just, this deck is frustrating to play against sometimes, but when you really analyze what's going on here, it's awesome to really consider.
Yeah, and it's not only have to have all these decisions, but you have to make them at the speed of light. It feels like just have to make them so quickly. And that can make it real tough. So you have to just have everything down really well. And like you said, a lot of the things you've learned in Hearthstone don't apply. You know, I had a player who they played I think an Aug Merchant against a Warlock on one, and they're saying like, oh, I want to get some chip damage on the Warlock. I was like, no, like forget everything you learned about tempo. You know, it's all about everything you learn, you know, board. It kind of throws out so many of the old rules of Hearthstone. So whether maybe you hate that, maybe you love that, but that's kind of the reality of the deck.
I mean, case in point, we saw Furyhunter float mana on this game. That's something that a lot of people are like, no, you never float mana. You always go for full tempo.
Yeah, so we got J. Alexander going for his end. It's a thing of this is real rough because J. Alexander is not going to be able to get the lethal this turn, and
cleaning up is really difficult too.
And yeah, and Furyhunter's all ready to go. He's got a field contact in hand ready to go, and he's even not able to remove this Octobot, which is huge because now Furyhunter could hit the Shadow Step. So I expect this to be a Furyhunter lethal here. Let's see what order he does here. I believe he has another Shadow Step in his deck and another Octobot, so he's probably I'm guessing he looks to draw here, and he's trying to calculate the hand space sizing here. Can he pull off? So he's actually doing Prep Swindle first. Very interesting, because I think he's going to have too big of a hand. And he hit the Octobot here.
Okay, yeah,
so now he gets all the discounts here.
I'm looking at my $20 very intensely right now.
Oh, this is. I'm wondering if he. I'm surprised he didn't do the field contact first, to be honest. But I guess no, maybe he had to. This is actually real tough. Maybe he doesn't. This a lot of times with this deck, you think you have lethal, and then you don't. And he's basically realized he doesn't have lethal here.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, it is turn 6 though. Like, I mean, we were so close to drawing the rest of the deck, but I think yeah, we just need that one more setup turn. How likely is it that J. Alex can pull this around? I mean, he does have.
It's actually quite likely. J. Alexander has a full hand, or no, wait. J. Alexander has a lot of stuff in his hand.
I think there's a prep
he's
in
got
deck,
the field
so if he
contact,
gets that with the Shroud,
so,
like, ooh. Oh, wait,
yeah,
I don't think there's any minions left, though. Wait, hold on a minute. Okay, yeah, there's actually no minions left in deck. I'm cheating with deck tracker, so.
Yep. And this is one of those things where, from J. Alexander, it does give him clarity of vision, where he knows he needs to get this lethal this turn. There's no other play. There is no other win. So we've seen J. Alexander go for these plays where he plays both of his Garrotes, and I think he's going to do that again here. He's going to play both of his Garrotes, and he's going to hope that he gets there. And he doesn't need to get all the cards here. This is him recognizing, like, it doesn't matter. The earlier he gets it, the more opportunities he gets statistically of hitting the lethal here. So, but the problem is, he only has maybe.
He doesn't go for it.
He doesn't draw well. He's hoping to hit like maybe a shadow step, with but it's so if he can hit like a shadow step, he might be able to. But I don't think he's got this. And yep, he's not quite fast enough. And
No.
Furyhunter is going to be taking game number 2 here. And you can see the standard turn 7. This is when you expect it. Both players are going for the turn 7s. And you can see how much easier this is now with the new Blackwater Cutlasses. You don't have to remember, oh, I forgot to play a minion for field contact. Everybody made those mistakes in the old Garrote Rogue. Or you'd forget before the Guild Trader, oh, I need something to proc my Aug Merchants on. Now you just play the Guild Trader and then you tradable the Cutlass. And it's so easy. Anybody can do it. So...
You're
thanks,
making me
Blizzard,
feel
for this
like I
great
can
card.
do it. And I literally had a
Exactly.
0% win rate with this deck while trying it today. So if I end up saying some suboptimal line, just know that I am still learning and I still have 2 weeks before maybe I decide to bring this deck. I don't know about that. I think the Masters Tour is really going to be plagued by this deck in terms of just of how insanely good this deck feels against everything. Like, my strategy is probably going to end up to ban it, if you want my honest opinion. But regardless, this deck is just an absolute powerhouse. But you have to know how to use it. It is Hearthstone after all, so it's kind of expected with the territory. Did they ever fix the pack mule spectator bug?
I do not know. Okay.
Okay. Let's see here.
All right. So Furyhunter's got a very nutty hand, and I'm curious to see. It's always what pace plays. So he has all the good cards, but I think the reality is sometimes when you have these cards, you still have to cycle. So field contact is a cycling card. It's not as much of a draw card. So though Furyhunter does have all the good stuff, the contact, the Octobot, but he's waiting for more cards to discount. Waiting for maybe to hit a Shroud or a Swindle. So even though Furyhunter has the good stuff, J. Alexander having these, double the Shroud, the Swindle, actually is kind of in a better spot here. He's drawing without using his field contact, and he's getting these kind of annoying, clunky mana spells out of the way. So then when he's finally going off of his field contact play, he'll just really cycle through quickly. So.
Yeah, Furyhunter, like, Furyhunter's a kind of interesting line that he could go for here, where, like, there's the prep Swindle possibility, and then going for, like, Octobot Procto if you're able to get lucky off the draws, but that's being very wishful. Although, okay, going for, Swindle into Shadow Step actually kind of makes this easier for the Octobot to get a lot more value alongside the field contact, so this actually feels like very
This is a
smart.
play where not only does he get the field contact down to 0 afterwards, but by doing this, he's able to draw 3 cards and get that prep out of the way, where prep would be costing, you don't want to prep your discount to 0, especially in lists that don't run cold neophytes.
Yeah.
Really not having the full field has very much changes the game to where it was, where you're almost always going for that turn 7 lethal. So
What would you say is most appropriate to go for the turn that Furyhunter did just go for like turn 3 contact into Shadow Step? Because that's something like I feel like it's kind of a hard it's kind of like a hard spot depending on what situation that you're in when that's actually the right play to go for.
yeah, but I think that was a very standard play. I think the interestingness is do you
my God, the
coin
0 mana hand.
pointing out another thing because he got his coin discounted to 0 here, but that doesn't really help him. So yeah, we got J. Alexander, but they're both have very fast hands here. They're both in a position. J. Alexander currently at 17 cards, Furyhunter at 19 cards, so it's very close here. And J. Alexander, getting the additional set of discounts here. And he's just cycling, killing off his own guys, doing the Penflinger dance. Remember, the Penflinger dance is where you do a Penflinger, and then you play a spell, and you get the Penflinger back, and you just kill off your own guys to make board space. And you can see traditional tempo doesn't matter really much. It's all about the cycle. They're killing off their own stuff because your stuff can actually be a burden here.
Yeah,
and
kind of like what you said. The Penflinger dance is a great way to describe this this phenomenon, because the board space is 100%, the most important thing when going for this combo. It's not just hand resource and being able to draw. It's not just about managing your hand resources and drawing from your deck. It's being able to make sure that you can milk as much value from that field contact by killing off your minions with the Penflinger.
And Jay hits the Shadow Step here, which is huge. Just this, like, when you go for this play, he hits the Shadow Step. And if you didn't hit the Shadow Step, Furyhunter, I think, would be an okay spot. But with this Shadow Step, not only is he at 5 cards from his deck, or 8 cards, but J. Alexander is almost for sure going to get lethal by turn 7. So that really puts Furyhunter in a position where he has to get the lethal on turn 6 here. And that is not going to be easy. But he does have a handful of 0 mana stuff, so it's possible. But remember, the stuff you draw doesn't cost 0, just the stuff in your hand. So it's not as it's not all fun and games as it might seem.
Yeah, now the wild-esque looking hand is going away, but I mean Octoprocto's still gonna make the nope, never mind. Look, these 1-drops are all becoming 0. This I mean,
and he keeps the cycle going. Furyhunter really has to be thinking, I need to get a lethal on turn 6. You can see with this hand, there's no way he's gonna get a lethal this turn, but he has that chance of if he cycles enough to set up the lethal for a turn 6 kill, and I think he might pull it off. So he's at least putting J. Alexander in a position where he's saying, hey, you better get this lethal next turn. So this is interesting. He's trading, okay, and he's prepping out this counter spell. A little disruption, a little metagaming. J. Alexander's to decide, okay, is this something important or not? But all right.
Yeah, while the game slowly catches up. Like, we got 7 cards left in deck for J. Alex on this turn. So getting the combo doesn't really seem that likely here. I don't think so.
I think it's tough here. It's just not quite. He doesn't quite have enough mana to pull this off. He needs the Shadow Step, and it's just with his hand. I could be wrong, but I don't think it's going to happen here. And really, Jay at this point is just really putting this saying, I'm going to get the lethal turn 6. I'm not going to get the lethal turn 7. I'm okay with that. But you better get this lethal turn 6. And getting a turn 6 lethal is very, very difficult, especially if you don't stick a field contact. Sometimes you can do it against a paladin or a hunter because you augment your field contact. They don't kill it. But it's just going to be tough in this spot for sure. So let's see. All right, here we go. Can Furyhunter pull it off here, guys? And he top decks the field contact. That is huge. That is huge here. He really needed that. And he's thinking.
We may not have time to think though.
Furyhunter has this was an interesting choice. I actually thought he was going to do some sort of field contact Octobot proc, but it doesn't look like he quite has it here.
Okay, so J. Alexander is definitely going to be able to kill Furyhunter next turn, no matter what. So Furyhunter does have to pull out the lethal here, but I mean, if you wait if you wait much longer, I don't know if you're gonna be able to have the time to do this. And
Yeah, and I think I don't think this is a win for Furyhunter. He's kind of looking for the way, but there's just no way for him to get through his deck here. So he's just kind of in a spot where, well, this sucks. I'm gonna say, hope that you completely throw. And remember, people throw every day, so it's like maybe Jay Alexander figures out a way to screw up this. But I expect, the Rogue Master, the guy with the most rogue wins. I expect him he's to hang in there and to pull off this lethal here. So.
All right, well, now's the time to do it. This looks very, very manageable from Jay Alex's view. He's got 4 mana just with the Field Contact Guild Trader Garrote combo, plus these 1-drops. I think there's actually, yeah, as long as you have 1 more minion in the deck, then you've just got this, and you're gonna be able to draw through the rest of the Garrote, so you may not even have to hit those. Oh wait, Refreshing Springwater actually just draws the entire deck, doesn't it? Because you draw. Wait, we actually could miss the bleeds. No, I don't think you could go for Refreshing Springwater. How does that actually work into the bleeds?
Oh, so only the first bleed, so would get the discount. Interestingly enough. So wait.
Well, so you refresh mana if you play Refreshing Springwater into
Wait, is this not a lethal here? Oh,
wait, what?
Wait, what? Oh, so he's got the Blackwater. He plays one of these, but.
Is this not a?
So Jay Alexander is doing this play a lot.
Oh, he needs.
But
I think he's off. Wait.
He gets
this is
discount.
gonna work because he could discount. Yeah, that works. Oh my god.
Wow. Okay, so wait, he barely pulls it off.
I actually have never seen the
if he had not hit the weapon
work
so
this way. This is actually genius, and why Blackwater Cutlass is amazing. Oh my god.
Yeah, I think that's not a guaranteed lethal, and that's what Furyhunter's hanging in there, hoping that Jay Alexander doesn't pull it off there. I missed to see if Jay Alexander had a guaranteed lethal there. There's too many things to pay attention to, but that was I'm assuming Jay Alexander, and that's a play that I don't have in my playbook of the passage into Blackwater Cutlass, and you can see Jay Alexander has the playbook. He knows the plays. He's very comfortable with this play. Finding these weird lethals, yeah, so that'd be.
Dude, like I just gotta harp on that last lethal. Like, just for context, I've been trying to avoid this deck like the plague because it's so complicated, and even as like a combo like memer and stuff like that, this deck is sometimes like just a little bit too much for me, even though it's so wacky and crazy sometimes. But like. That last lethal from Jay Alexander was extremely impressive. Extremely impressive.
So Furyhunter has the absolute nuts this game. He's got a Shroud on 2. He's got a Passage coming up. I expect him to go Passage next turn. Then he's going to discount his hand. If Furyhunter plays this well, he could maybe even get a turn 6 lethal. So we'll see. But he's in a spot where, Jay Alexander has a good hand too. He hit the Shroud as the prep. Did he hit the Shroud or the Swindle? Sorry. Yeah, he hit some Swindle draws, but yeah. So this is very standard.
Okay, 7 cards going into the deck with the Passage. What is the plan with playing Passage here? Because we have both Contacts and a potential Octo-Procto turn.
He's really just looking to get rid of stuff out of his hand. Because remember, this is effectively drawing cards. So he's probably going to do, maybe something like Brain Freeze Plunder here. And then I expect him to actually play the second Passage here. Just trying to dump as many cards as you can. Because right now, very interesting. So he's basically said, I like these cards in my deck. I'd rather look for other cards in my deck because I don't like these as much. And he hit some good ones. He hit a prep Shroud. I'm interested if he trades the Blackwater Cutlass in here. Unless he draws a spell, it would always go on the Shroud here, and then he can prep the Shroud. So I think that's the play. And let's see if Furyhunter agrees with me.
If you do that, don't you have 10 cards because he shuffled 7 with the Passage? So doesn't this put you at 10 cards?
I don't think so. I think he had. I think this puts him up to 9 cards because he does draw a card here. So he might be at he might be overdrawing here. You're right. And looks, yeah, he recognizes that, and he's using this Aug Merchant off the top as opposed to the Wand Thief because he doesn't want to overdraw here. He actually still overdraws here, but he doesn't want to actually lose a card from his hand. And this is a scary play for Furyhunter because
he's still at 10.
Yep. So now if he overdraws the Garrote, he might lose this game, and he might have to actually save Aug Merchants or win with tempo, which would make his life a living hell. So, but it's actually good to overdraw here if he doesn't overdraw a Garrote. So, all right, J. Alexander doing the Shadow Step of this, and he's just going to playing this cram session, not choosing to go the passage here, but he's just Oh my God!
No!
Such a punish!
Not
Such
the
a
money
punish!
match!
Oh wow, he had it. He had everything, and the 1 in 7. It's gonna be very tough. So he needs that chip damage, and this is, if you're J. Alexander here, you can now play the game different. You can play defensively. You can play for board because it's going to be very hard for Furyhunter to kill you. And this is, so what I expect Furyhunter to do here is he really needs to pop off next turn. But in addition to popping off, he needs to get that chip damage. He needs to get his opponent down. The magic number here would be to 24 health and saving the Aug Merchants, where he could do Guild Trader double Aug Merchant for a 24 life, and but ideally he would get it down to 20 life, because then that's a Guild Trader single Aug Merchant, which is very doable. But now J. Alexander really just has to just maintain the tempo advantage, not let Furyhunter get that chip damage in, and J. Alexander is almost sure to win this game.
God, no.
Very big mulligan for a big overdraw for.
Dude, I still can't believe that the Garrote got milled. It's just, it goes to show Murphy's Law in Hearthstone. If something can go wrong, it 100% will go wrong every single time. And like I thought he was safe. Like he wouldn't have overdrawn a card, but it's just so hard to focus on every single little detail with rogue play sometimes.
Yep, and I think that was, I think I didn't quite see the way to do it, but I think that was a risk that Furyhunter should not have been taking. He should have found a way to keep his hand size smaller there, and it's really going to cost him here. So now it's just that much harder to find the win. He does have the Blackwater Cutlasses, so there are ways he can find the win here. But now he's this spot. He can't really use this second Ethereal Aug Merchant because he really needs it for the lethal later. 16 damage is almost not ever going to win, but 20 damage could potentially go on to win. So he's cycling here. And remember, if he gets a board that J. Alexander doesn't feel great about removing, this could definitely still be a win for Furyhunter. It just makes his life much more difficult, It's just kind of, when you wake up and you're looking to have a really easy day, and then someone in your family calls and says there's a big problem, and guess what? Your day is not going to be so easy, but might not be bad, but a lot of that carefreeness of the I'm just going to cycle and easy lethal have gone away now.
Oh, this is looking disastrous, dude. Like kind of like what you're talking about. Like the big amount of damage could still come out of the spell damage that Furyhunter still has available to him, but I feel like you either need to find like a random spell out of Wand Thief, because like you might have the damage with the Cutlass, and if you happen to stick a board, but you might need that extra push from the spells in order to really in order to
Furyhunter has actually done it brilliantly here, where he's got Field Contact, Guild Trader, Shadow Step on this, so he's it all set up for next turn if he can get the cycle. I'm not sure if he quite has it here, but he's actually gotten in a spot where he could definitely still win this game. He's got the weapon for 2, and he's got him down to that 24-point breakpoint with the weapon hit. And this is one of the nice things about the Blackwater Cutlass. So this actually might work out in Furyhunter's favor. Let's see if he can pull off a turn 6 lethal here. But I think Furyhunter is very likely to pull off a turn 7 lethal. So it's a thing of, does he go for the turn 6 here with 1 Garrote and show that he is also a Garrote god, and that the god of rogue should bow down, or will he try and not succeed here? I'm real excited to see if he pulls this off.
All right, well, Here's the moment of truth. If Furyhunter can somehow win a money match game with a burnt Garrote, that's gonna be legendary, my guy.
Yeah. So it's this is here we go. All right.
I want to see this. I got 20 bucks riding on this. Let's go.
And remember, he's got to use the Shadow Step on his Og Merchant here to pull off the lethal. He's got to prep for the Garrote. That's real nice here. Oh my God, I think he's got it. Let's see if he pulls it off. But I think he's got it easy, honestly. He's got it easy.
So you said that there's 20 damage that wait, what's the amount of damage?
He's actually gonna get 32, I think, with one Garrote, right? Double, so 16, 24, 32.
Oh my God, no way. Dude, this is literally just a Malagos.
So if anything, Furyhunter's showing his extreme expertise to intentionally overdraw a Garrote so that he can get a turn 6 lethal. The fastest lethal so far happening with one Garrote. Furyhunter showing you don't need 2 Garrotes to play this deck. Maybe players are going to start cutting a single Garrote, saying you don't need it. You only need one. So yeah, what a great lethal.
I smell the easiest money
there.
I've ever bet in my life. Let's go, dude. I didn't have a doubt for a second.
There's never a doubt for a second. All right.
Literally a Malagos on the field with this deck with one Garrote. Absolutely unbelievable. Furyhunter proving that, you know, just this is how he high rolled the Masters Tour. Oh my God, that is actually insane. We've seen 2 insane these back-to-back games had insane lethals to actually dictate the winner. And just again, man, like this deck, even if you don't appreciate it or don't like it, there's so much to this deck that meets the eye versus just combo. Like literally one Garrote was mill. What more do you want? What more do I need to explain?
Yep, and you know, I think this was just a 5-head flex by Furyhunter, intentionally milling the Garrote, like I said, to show, and it actually did have an advantage. It gave him 1 less card he had to deal with, and with enough spell damage, he was able to just go through his card play. So sometimes, like I said, you know, this happens against Warlock, where they will mill one of your Garrotes with the Altar of Fire, but it actually helps you because you can get the lethal faster. So the more the problem, like I said, was that speed often of like now you need a little bit more. So anyways, we got J. Alexander actually with a very good starting hand, having just double Shroud a little slow, and then we have Furyhunter here with a good hand as well. But I think J. Alexander is a hand that is very likely to hit a turn 7 lethal here. So I think what's hard about Furyhunter's hand here is will he be able to pull off his own turn 7 lethal? Furyhunter's got a decent hand himself, but you know he doesn't have double Shroud. He doesn't have a full hand here already, the way J. Alexander does here.
Yeah, looking really solid here for J. Alex. And while Furyhunter does go for the secret passage, doesn't really find the greatest options, but maybe you go for passage number 2. I feel like that might be a little hopeful. Like the biggest thing here is that you could go for like the Octobot, you know, tempo play, but that doesn't. It literally doesn't do anything. So I like that Furyhunter's holding onto the Octobot, holding onto the secret passage as well, because it did get drawn. So I guess you don't have to play it 100% here. Just wait for next turn.
Yep, and Furyhunter also has like this other Octobot, so there's really no reason to play that other Octobot. It's very likely to get killed. You know, if your opponent plays an Octobot, you do whatever it takes to do that 4 damage. Propose your other plans. They're not important. Kill the Octobot, deal 4 damage to it. Discounts are OP, so you got to stop them if you can. And J. Alexander, I think, correctly recognized, like, I don't really want this random spell from my Wand Thief. I don't need it. I just need to cycle. And a nice play, but J. Alexander is right now like 1, you know, Octobot away. But he's got an amazing hand, except for the fact he doesn't have a field contact in Octobot. So, so yeah, it's an interesting spot here.
Looking a little difficult here, but I mean, just maximizing card draw, going for the discount. You still, yeah, you don't have the big card, but you do have the Shroud to maybe try and find it. No Shadow Step in order to get the Octobot back in hand, so this is looking like the pieces really got to come together these next couple of turns. Passage off the top, going for Shadow Step?
I think he also just wants to get rid of a card because he wants to go Shroud, but he hit the Shadow Step as well, so it's a double win here. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a real interesting game where I know as a streamer when I'm playing. On my, if I have a Garrote YouTube video, they're like, "Oh, this deck is good unless you don't draw field contact." And players are saying neither player is drawing field contact, and you know what? They're both doing just fine here. They're cycling, they're discounting. They have a big hand, so I think sometimes you don't draw field contact till late, but you could still pull it off as early as turn 7. They're cycling here. Furyhunter is going to draw 1 card and then 5 cards with the Shroud plus Swindle next turn, in a very good position to hit a field contact and set up for a turn 7 lethal.
Yeah, looking like he's got almost all the pieces going here. I mean, all he needs is the field. It's the field contact. He's got all the 0 mana cards, and he's also got the 0 mana Octobot. So if the Shroud is able to hit the contact, it's looking like a very favorable game for J. Alex. But okay, never mind. He does get it. I was about to say that.
It's the contact. That's so huge. So J. Alex are almost for sure to win by turn 7, and there's a chance he pulls it. I don't think he's gonna be able to pull it off on turn 6 here. But this is with Furyhunter getting it off the Shroud, unless J. Alexander has a randomly generated mage spell, which we can see in his hand that he doesn't. This is going to be so tough. Furyhunter is almost for sure to win on turn 7 here. And wait, is he going to find? Wait!
You're scaring me. What's going on?
Does he have the turn? Does he have the single turner here? Let's see. Play second field contact. He has both Garrotes. He has that. I feel like there's a single turner here, but I can't find it. I think maybe you Shadow Step the Octobot. It's tough because he also needs the double spell damage here.
Yeah, I think this might be the way to go. Oh my god, I really wish that I put Deck Tracker up on here so we could all see.
Oh, he lost his pen flinger. That's actually very big. I don't think he has it. It's too slow. So this is the hardness of this deck. You're always this close to pulling it off on turn 6, and you easily get it on turn 7. So Furyhunter is not pulled off the lethal here. I feel like there might have been a way, but he's got it all set up. And J. Alexander, same kind of situation we've seen time and time again. J. Alexander knows he is dead next turn if he doesn't pull it off, and Furyhunter just gets to watch and wait and see if he dies. J. Alexander is cycling here.
There's a lot of draws that
he's going for his patented, I'm going to play the Garrote's early play. And if you're like me, I can't do this play because the animation times screw me up too much. But when you play as fast as J. Alexander...
Oh, he's got the other one?
This play...
Oh my god, he's got the other one. That's huge. If you find a prep, I think that actually might do it. Yeah, Furyhunter not looking very happy about this right here. Oh my god.
J. Alexander still has 10 cards through the deck. Don't underestimate.
He hits the prep!
10 cards. So he hit the prep, and now he just has to keep dancing here. And he hit the Octobot. So now, but I don't know if the Octobot actually nets him cards. That's the problem. So because it costs 3 mana to effectively proc the Octobot, and you only get 1 discount here. So I'm not sure if this was actually the right play. And you can see, this just shows you how hard it is to get the turn 6 lethal. J. Alexander rightfully going for it. But I don't think
animation time is on his side here either. Like, this is just something that takes way too long.
Yep. And now Furyhunter should have a very easy lethal here at the end. But yeah, J. Alexander correctly recognizing he had to go for it there. He had to go for the lethal.
He could have actually hit it though.
Animation times. Wait.
He literally could have hit that. He had 2 mana left over. I don't know how many bleeds are left in the deck, but he had the prep and the 1 bleed in hand. I think
this is why the best practices is usually not to play the Garrotes early, because just animation times just really screw you over. But J. Alexander correctly recognizing he had to do it. He had to go for it because he wasn't going to get through his entire deck here. And now, like I said, Furyhunter with a very easy lethal. This is the sit back and take a sip of coffee and enjoy yourself lethal.
Dude, Furyhunter's on match point if he gets this win. I'm so close to my $20. I can smell it. Looks like Furyhunter is asking for a be right back, so he did actually get it. He's gonna walk away from the computer. So I guess we'll pan to us after this lethal gets shown.
It's a good time to take a break, anyways. It's been going very non-stop here. Good time to take a break for sure. It's very, very close, but he's got to take this do 2 wins in a row and show that he is the all-time Grow God. Or does Furyhunter currently have the title of the best Garrote rogue player in the world?
See, and that's what's really important is that it's not just $200 that's on the line. It's actually, you know, pride and the fact that, you know, if you beat the Rogue Master, does that mean that you become the Rogue Master? Is this like a King of Games situation to where when you beat the King of Games, you've got it now?
Yeah, so it's like Diablo, where you kill Diablo, right, and you put the gem in and you become him. So, all right.
I mean, now that Diablo's in Hearthstone, it seems to be the appropriate time to make that analogy.
All right, so Furyhunter is a very good hand here. J. Alexander with a good hand too. He's got the and J. Alexander going for the prep shroud. I always am not sure. Players have different opinions on this stuff. You know, is it right to go prep shroud or is it right to wait?
Another happy guildie.
Might be like usually I just automatically go for it. So I'm kind of interested to see. Okay, so he's not
Furyhunter did not go for the prep shroud. I am a not prep shroud great gamer, but looks like J. Alexander is the prep shroud greater and Furyhunter is not, and we will see which strategy is the superior one.
Is it because you can just wait? Like there's really no rush to going for the double draw, and you can probably use prep in a different way.
Prep can be really useful with a swindle when you have field contact. So generally, I think it's better to wait. And you can see here, this is the problem, is look at J. Alexander. Now he would love to have a nice, you know, play here, but he doesn't. He's having actually shadow step his Wand Thief here and look for a play.
You're paying for my discretion.
And he hits this cram session here. And this is a little nice, like, niche way to get draw.
Nice little boost.
And he hits the field contact. And this is a game now. If he hadn't hit a field counter on Octobot, this would be very, very bad for J. Alexander. But he's very much in this game. But he doesn't have the Octobot. And now Furyhunter does.
Oh, okay. There we go. There we go.
He's doing the stealth field contact, and he knows his opponent. Does his opponent still have a Wand Thief spell? I'm trying to see. His opponent does not have a Wand Thief spell, so there's nothing in J. Alexander's deck naturally that can kill this field contact. This is just
so holding on to the prep is literally maybe gonna win this game for Furyhunter if things keep going in his
I think it might.
His way.
All right, here we go.
Octo Procto. We have two 1-drops and a Swindle. I don't feel like we can play Swindle because we have the Pinfinger coming back. So plus we have Wand Thief. So
yeah. So Swindle is effectively increase your hand size by 3 here. So you need to have 7 cards to pull it off with the field contact and the Octo on board. But he hit the Shadow Step, and this is the money play. You play the Octobot, the Penflinger comes back in hand, you'll play it again, and Furyhunter should be going real fast. He can just, but he does have some hand space issues. He's got to be careful, but you know he doesn't have to be that careful because his opponent is going to be at 26 life here. So he should, if he's paying attention, he can know he actually doesn't need anything in his deck here. So I'm actually a little surprised that he just didn't. I would have gone just double Swindle there, just overdrawn your deck. He doesn't need it. He has an Aug Merchant. He has 2-mana Garrotes, and he's going to have the 1-mana weapon. And he actually, so I'm a little surprised that he actually went for this play on the field contact there. But does he have another field contact in hand? I can't remember.
I believe he does.
Okay.
I believe he does.
But I think he
one mana.
also recognizes that, you know what, he doesn't need the to do it this turn. He can do it all next turn. In the past with Cold Neophyte, sometimes you would wait and you would regret it. But this is a spot where neither player is Cold Neophyte. And I actually think Furyhunter's all set up for a turn 6 lethal here. He has everything he needs in hand except for he would need the 1-mana weapon with the Aug Merchant here. But he's got a powerhouse of a hand here. J. Alexander,
as soon as he's out.
He hits the Octobot, but he's got 1 mana left, right? He can't.
You have to Shadow Step, right?
He can't play it, but yeah, he can't. So he can't get the Octobot down this turn, and I don't think he's going to be able to do it here. I think Furyhunter's got this. Furyhunter has 10 cards in hand, but these Swindles are going to draw 3 cards each, so that puts it down to 3. Furyhunter should have this. This should be a Furyhunter win, but he does need to hit like 1 more card. He's discounting the. He's gonna do. It looks like he's gonna do the Penflinger dance here. So now he's got to be careful with his
Garrote so
order.
early?
He can't just overdraw, but he didn't want to overdraw the weapon here. But this makes a lot of space in his hand. The one thing about, it is scary about going early on these plays, but he has to do it for the hand size.
Does he
is
just
the
have it this
animation
turn?
times.
Like, he played both of the Garrotes this turn.
Yep. So he has 24 damage, and then he hits the weapon for the last 2. He hits the weapon. Now that's what he wanted to hit here. But don't brain freeze your own guy. I've done that. Where you brain freeze your own Octobot. And he should have this. He's got the, remember, the 24 from this, and then the 2 from the Blackwater. And he's doing the order. He's doing it. He's being excited. He's being a showman here. He knows he's got it here. This is so many ways to win here. But yeah, he doesn't even need this. All these discounts. He's got mana to spare. Easy turn 6 lethal. Just keep killing your stuff off. And it looks like he's chilling. Looks like he hit it. Wow, what a series. What a series.
So not only did Furyhunter just apparently win the $200, but I made a $20, and he knows who he is in chat. He knows that he owes me $20, so I can't wait to collect that money. But dude, I had no doubt from the very beginning. Furyhunter proving yet again why he is the Masters Tour winner, why he's so consistent and and a force to be reckoned with on the EU ladder. Furyhunter is the winner of this Rogue series and is, up to Jay Alexander on whether or not he takes the Rogue crown. But at the same time, you really can't. You can't top. Yeah,
you can't take the Rogue crown for Jay Alexander at the end of the day. Just maybe the specific Garrote Rogue crown, but not the Rogue crown. But I think what's interesting is, like you said, Furyhunter known for the comebacks. Down 2-0, and Jay Alexander was crushing him the first 2 games. Even Furyhunter in a game that I thought he should have won, that he misplayed, Jay Alexander didn't misplay. Jay Alexander looked like he was going to potentially roll over Furyhunter, and Furyhunter said, nope, I hang in there, I make comebacks, and there's a reason why I won Masters Tour. I can be down a lot, but I will find a way to come back and win, and he did it.
Yep, I'm absolutely happy that my pick made it, and I'm really happy for Jay Alexander for being a very awesome sport about all of this as well. As you can see, like, both players are very emotive on the cameras, giving the chat exactly the kind of spectacle that they would want in this kind of situation. And I just want to give one more shout out to the person who did make this all possible. I'm not going to name him out loud, but he does know who he is, and he probably is in chat having an absolute time. And of course, No Hands, thank you for making yourself available for this.
Thanks so much for having me. This is a blast.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to maybe doing this in the future if we have, people that are interested. Maybe we could do some for, like, Shaman, Warrior, whatever's the most popular thing that we want to do at the time. Yo, Furyhunter, how's it going?
Hello, it's going very well.
Congratulations. Epic series.
Yeah, how you feeling, dethroning the Rogue King, Jay Alex, and also earning yourself probably the easiest $200 you've ever had playing Hearthstone, huh?
I mean, it feels pretty good. I mean, I'm not sure if I can say I'm the best Rogue player. Also, in some of those games, I probably didn't play too well. By the way, there was a game by overdrew a card. I did that on purpose, obviously. Just for anyone actually thinking that's a misplay. Like, I knew that I would overdraw. I was just like, okay, if I overdraw a Garrote, it's 2 and 14, and I can still win. So yeah, I just did it because it was more efficient.
We were wondering, and you ended up pulling up the first turn 6 lethal of the series with that play. So it's a thing of, I was wondering, was it worth it risk wise? But I guess if you're highly likely to increase your chance of hitting the turn 6 lethal, that's probably absolutely worth the risk, because you had like everything else you needed, and you still pulled it off with only 1 Garrote. So we were kind of saying, oh, it was a flex jokingly, but it wasn't. You do what you're doing, So yeah.
I mean, the thing is, I don't know if it was worth it, but I mean, I did it on purpose, but I didn't have much time to think about it.
Yep, I think it was the right play, because just getting that additional mill, because a lot of you'd rather just makes it that easier to get through your deck by turn 6. And it seems like that's often the time. Every game was ending on turn 6 or turn 7. So if you can get the lethal on turn 6, you almost guarantee the win. Where if you get the lethal on turn 7, often they get the win right before you. And Jay Alexander was pulling out those turn 7 lethals very consistently. So.
And there was only one game. Yeah, like you said, there was only one game I think that went to turn 8. I think there was the game that, you know, it was actually settled on the board being important versus just going for the massive combo turn. But Furyhunter, what was going through your mind during the last bits of that single Garrote game of when you were setting up the combo? Did you have any doubt, or was it like, you know, as soon as all the pieces came together, you're just like, oh hell yeah, it's time to pop off?
I mean, the turn before, I knew I had lethal, right? Like I can count that. 2 mana Guild Trader, 1 mana Field Contact, that's 3 mana, and then I have 3 more mana to draw 4 cards. I had 2 Shadow Steps. That's I could even draw 1 more card than I needed to, I think. But there was one game, maybe more, where I think I missed lethal, but it was like I was like on the ropes. I was like, is it worth it going for lethal here? And I was just like, nah, but he can't lethal me like almost ever. So some of the time I just didn't go for lethals that I think were lethals. Also with any lag, I don't want to blame any lag, but yeah.
I think that one game where you had 2 field contacts in hand and you didn't pull off the lethal, I think there might have been a lethal there. Did you?
Oh yeah.
Did you think there was? But I mean, it was. You have to time that field contact play so well, because if you do play it too early, your hand size gets too big. A very difficult turn. It's much more fun to be watching and just seeing, oh, maybe he should have done this. Do you think there was a way you could have pulled off the lethal that turn?
I mean, the thing is, I think there maybe was, but my board space was so awkward, because I also had to brain freeze his minions first, because that was more efficient with the Octobot discounts. And then I couldn't brain freeze my own minions because I didn't have them anymore. Like I need to dump my 0 mana cards before I ping my Octobot, right?
Yeah.
To discount more cards. So I don't think that was actually lethal after how I played the turn, but maybe that was. But I think I was like one board space off or something. Also, like, yeah, it's very hard to do everything on the rope, right? And a little bit of stress, but.
Well, Furyhunter, congratulations for winning this. Is there anything that you want to say to Jay Alexander right now after winning the $200 and, you know, proving your mastery of Rogue?
No, I think Jay Alexander is a great player. Go check out his stream. I don't really want to shit talk him. I think he's a...
Yeah.
I was very impressed, and maybe I'm not sure if we can get Jay Alexander in here too. He did a lot of these plays that I see Furyhunter does that I never do, where he went for the passage and then would get the lethal off the passage. I think one time it didn't work for him, but it seems like that's a play in his playbook that I need to add to my playbook that I haven't, I don't do very often, that kind of stuff. And he did, get a lethal that way. So definitely Jay's got some plays up his sleeve that nobody else does,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, actually, I like how you were a good sportsmanship, a good sport about this, because something that I actually liked about this entire something I enjoyed about organizing this event was just how open everybody was, and was like, yeah, let's do it, man. Why not do this? And we literally planned this all in 2 days. Furyhunter was in chat when this idea happened, when someone was like, I will donate $200 in order to make this happen, and it happened. So it just goes to show that, if you want something to happen, just put it out there, and the universe will hopefully make it happen for you.
And if anyone wants to challenge me with Garrote and someone wants to put up the money for it, then I'm always down.
Yeah.
You heard it here, guys. Furyhunter will money match anybody with Garrote Rogue.
So somebody's gonna put $1,000 on me versus like Reddit. That's what I'm hoping for, So all the Reddit gold gamers, and
I'll organize it.
I'll beat them. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's gonna wrap it up for everything that we had going on for today. Again, guys, thank you so much for making this all possible. This might not have been possible without you guys saying yes, obviously. And I just want to say one more thank you for all the support that was given to make this happen the past 2 days. So, I just love being part of this community, because stuff like this is literally possible. And, you just got to hit up people at the right time. But that's going to conclude everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to, end the stream and raid somebody. I'll figure that out in 10 minutes when it's time to do that. But one more shout out to Furyhunter, to Jay Alex, No Hands, as well as the random person in chat who knows who it is who made this possible.
Think we could get Jay Alexander in for an interview as well?
He had to leave.
Okay.
Yeah, he's already off from camera. Otherwise, I would have gotten him in here. But congratulations, Furyhunter, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.